pasa, mi gente? What's up? Back again for another edition of Rican. I am Spider-Man.
I'm Super Lou.
And welcome back. Today's subject is something I wanted I was thinking about. You know, in 2 more weeks, we're going to have Marvel Studios bring out Captain America New World Order.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to this, to seeing this. But, you know, it's like I have a little bit of trepidation because, one, it's Anthony Mackie. So when you think Captain America, you're not thinking Chris Evans. You're not thinking now. You're thinking now it's him. And I'm not saying he hasn't established himself, because in the series Falcon and Winter Soldier, he introduced himself as the new Captain America at that point. And so, yes. But as comic book fans, we've read the stories. We've seen the transition from Falcon to the next Captain America going forward. And yes, there were moments in which there was, how would I say, prejudice towards it, but that's in the comic books. My concern, or my thought about was, you know, people accepting Mackie when they watch this. Because again, as comic book people, we see the story, we embrace it, and then we move forward. But those who are just people who just watch the cinematic movies, who just love the Marvel movies but have no idea of the story background, they just watch what's on the screen and then they go from there. And then going to see it, and going in there and not have, you know, like, he's what again? Captain America?
Yeah.
What's he doing? Like, it's like I hope it doesn't turn into that, because, like I said, I love Mackie's work. You know, his body of work is excellent, especially now with him being the next Captain America and taking over that mantle and moving forward with it. I'm looking forward to seeing moments like he did in Winter Soldier at the very end, when he had that conversation with the other heads of state. Because mind you, like, if you hadn't seen it, just to give you a brief synopsis, in that particular time period, they found a way to replicate the super soldier serum. So you just take a drink and now you have it. But at the same time, these people that have taken the serum are fighting against any government that's forcing and relocating people that came back from the blip. So you people. I mean, of course, Thanos snapped. Half of everybody was gone. You know, people had to rebuild and move forward. And then the Avengers won, and Iron Man said, "Boom," and everybody came back. Well, Hulk did it, and then Iron Man took out the army of Thanos. Let's put it that way. So Hulk brought everybody back, and that's when the problem started. You know, people popping up in their houses where they first disappeared to, but they're no longer their homes, and they're becoming displaced. And they're becoming displaced in probably the worst way. And again, it's not their fault about what happened. But those, you know, when you get to a point where the government doesn't listen to you, the unfortunate happens, which is then people take the law into their own hands. Hence why those people started drinking the formula to become super soldiers like Cap and take on the government. And they were pretty much successful. And there's that scene in which the governments that are there, after they captured everyone, they're thanking him, and he's just trying to remind them of something, which is, you're becoming the same despotic madman like Thanos, who snapped to erase half the people. You're doing the same thing he was doing, but without the gems.
Yep.
You know, it's like he told one of them, said, look, with a phone call, you can give people food. Another phone call, you can relocate them into a better place. But what you're doing is displacing these people. You're sending out soldiers with weapons to force people out, to force them into wherever you think they need to be, and not even look at the humanity of it all.
Excuse me for saying this, they were being Trump. Okay? They were being Trump way earlier.
Woo! He said it. Oh, yeah.
They were doing the Trump.
Mm-hmm.
The Trump displacement. Okay? Not with the rings, just the fake gold hair that he has.
As they say, you know, art imitates life, and unfortunately that's what was going on. And I'm hoping that they have moments like that, because it would really show more. Because with Cap, when he did Captain America, Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
you already knew what his standpoint was against Iron Man, which was Iron Man says we should work with the government. But Cap says, no, because I'm not going to give up my identity. And what if we as an organization, as Avengers, need to go to a place where they don't want us to go? So we have to wait for 115 people to decide that we need to go in there and do something? No, the Avengers weren't made for that purpose.
Whose side was you on? I was on Captain America's side.
I have to incline to agree. I mean, if it wasn't that they had to force them to give up their identities, I mean, I'm going with the comic here, to force them to take their, to show their identities to the government, then I would have been with Iron Man. Say work with the government. Maybe, there may be some senses, diplomacy first before taking action, because you're taking action. You're not finding a diplomatic solution. You're just telling people, hey, listen, we're not allowing this to happen, and they're going to look at you like, who are you not allowing?
So whose side would you have on?
Now, if it wasn't for that part, but right now, I would say Cap. Yes, because again, like we talked on our last episode, Section 31 is a Black Ops. Avengers is not so much Black Ops, but they are. Huh?
That's what it's called? Section 31? I thought
it
was
Section 31.
Go ahead.
But they are an organization that's supposed to be free of any government stipulations. And that means that wherever there is any sort of, action happening around the globe, if it's against civil liberties or tyrannical governments, that's what the Avengers were for, to change that, to stop that, to protect civil rights of people.
Mr. Producer Charles, whose side would you be on? Cap's?
Or Iron Man's?
Iron Man.
Technology-wise, I'll say Iron Man, but I'm a Captain America.
Okay. So you would be on Captain America's side?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, that was the omnipotent voice who has spoken.
Yes. We don't call him God, though.
No.
Well, on occasion, sometimes.
Well, on occasion.
It depends.
Dear Lord. But yeah, it makes for good storytelling if they continue that kind of theme that he does. Because I know that they gave the theme that war is about to break out, and he's on the forefront to try and stop it. But yes, he has his oppositions, and and I want to see Harrison Ford as the new Thunderbolt Ross. I mean, we know he's going to become the Red Hulk, but as Thunderbolt Ross, because John Hurt had he wasn't so much like, he was like almost a diplomat, but like a harsh diplomat, like in Infinity War. It's like, well, we need to get them. Well, we need those people arrested. And he just like, go away. So, but this one, he was like more like the Hammer. Like he's trying to tell him, say, and you're not Steve Rogers. I'm like, okay, this dude is not playing around. I mean, I know they hinted on it, so this is not a spoiler, but I cannot wait to see the leader. I want to see the leader.
That's going to be interesting.
Is he going to be comic book accurate leader, or is he, be a different, maybe a version of the cinematic version of a leader? But I want to see leader.
I don't want him to look like Lex Luthor.
I hope not. That would be really off.
Yes.
So now you're just competing and making fun instead of just telling the story. But this kind of thing,
Please, if you're listening to us, bring back Sebastian. Okay, let's give him a series. Let's call it The White Wolf. Give him a series, because that's what he was.
I'm all for it. Yes, Sebastian Stan does deserve the series. I mean, yes, Falcon and Winter Soldier, but now he's no longer Winter Soldier. Why not make him the White Wolf?
Right.
And give him his shot. But wait, he is going to have his shot with, if I'm not mistaken,
Section 31.
No.
Oh. My fault. My fault.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
Yeah.
Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Thunderbolts. Now, is he White Wolf in that one? Never know, but it could be the transition too. But he is going to be a part of that. of that show when it comes out. Wait, is that a show or a movie? I keep forgetting which one it is that's going to wind up being in that one.
It's gonna be a movie. It's a movie. It's not a series. It's
Mm.
Thunderbolt is gonna be a movie.
Yeah, because they're going to introduce Sentry in that one.
Yeah, Thunderbolt is gonna be a movie. It's not gonna be Section 31 at all.
Again with Section, yeah, the hombre.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have fun with this.
Oh yes.
So going back to what I was saying, yeah, I really hope that when audiences see this, they don't just say, "Well, he's not Captain America as well." No, embrace it because that's who he is, and
They gotta
I hope
understand.
those scenes.
The people have to understand. Captain America is not a person. It's a symbol,
It is.
and you have to acknowledge the symbol. You have to go for the symbol, not the person in the mask, not the person in the suit, not the person that holds the shield.
Mm-hmm.
So it shouldn't matter who's Captain America.
True.
And when Biden gave Mackie the shield, that was it.
That was Captain America.
Oh, I thought it was George. I thought it was Biden. My fault. I thought it was Joe Biden. My fault. He looked like Joe Biden. Sorry, Mo.
He really wants us canceled. So yeah, that scene with Biden. I mean, Cap. See what you did?
Sorry.
With Cap passing on the shield. Yes, the shield is that symbol, and that represents Captain America.
Yeah.
Like when we saw the What If series, and we saw Captain Carter, she had the British symbol of the shield. So, but yet Captain Carter is, she is, the embodiment of,
yes.
but the symbol is that British shield.
Mhm.
So, in essence, I don't want them to get that confused. I hope they really look at the story because that scene in Falcon with Control was very, very poignant of today's times and how he was discussing the times that, hey, you with a phone call can do this and you can do that. And, the difference of terrorism is a maniacal man with 5 gems and a very misguided 16-year-old. Because that's what the kid was. She was 16, but she was standing up for the ideal of the people that were being, I won't say oppressed, but being victimized for only just disappearing because some mad scientist, some mad guy decided to kill everything and then bring it back when we want it back. Yeah, I made a mess.
That was a Section 31 era.
That was Section 31 mess. We'll fix that at the next time. But yeah, it just is poignant, and I hope that in the movie they put that in there so that way it gives him content, gives the story something more than just it's a guy with a shield facing something that's hulkish and in red.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's that because that kind of storytelling is much needed in that respect.
Very true.
Very true. And I think also I want to see not only just like I said the leader, but the thing is when I see the Red Hulk happens, I hope Banner comes. That's what I'm hoping. Again, just crossing my fingers. Like remember the rivalry in the comics between the two was that Thunderbolt Ross was always after Banner, always wanting his power, but at the end he decided to take the mantle upon himself. And I think in the comic books it was MODOK and Leader that combined both gamma and cosmic energy to create the Red Hulk. He was supposed to be made to be stronger than the Hulk in that respect. And their first meeting didn't fare too well with the Hulk, even to the point where he had some ability to siphon off all the gamma radiation right out of him and turn him into Banner.
Yeah.
No Hulk, just Banner. Took him a while to get it back, and then when he did it back and he tried the second time, it didn't work. That time it didn't work. So I'm wondering if they're keeping within that whole aspect of what the Red Hulk is capable of doing, or they're just giving him Red Hulk and making him strong and
Yeah, make him a clone of the original Hulk. They better not do that.
and anything's possible in the realm of comic books, but in the realm of the MCU, it's really just how they're going to tell this story. Again, I'm not trying to be like hopefully like, oh, I want this, like canon. I said, no, I want to see what they tell, see how it unfolds, and then just judge for myself and say, okay, the execution was okay. Because again, Iron Man in the very beginning was like 30. Iron Man 1 was like 30 years wrapped into one film. That's a lot of stuff you just wrapped into one, and then the next years to follow wrapped up into another. But you're taking away a lot of the stories that we enjoyed page by page. You should at least give room for that and make more features from it. So hoping you guys can get that straight and get it together. So in that thought, we're gonna phase out into oblivion and come right back with more Nerdoricans.
Yep.
Now I go get the mop.
Come, let's play. LDM Radio. Come, let's play. Fun is what we crave.
Let's go.
You're listening to New York City's LDM Radio. Another long stretch of continuous music.
Back into time. Flashback.
Make my move, gonna live my dream, gonna live my
New York City's LDM Radio.
The best radio station in the world is right here, right now.
All the other Hulks, why not? And then bring up one of the other stuff that we had talked about before that's coming out, like Daredevil. It's coming out.
Oh my God, yes.
So we can lead into that. So, ready? Oh, welcome back, and we're coming to smash. Yes.
Kind of like what he did with the cup earlier.
Yeah.
He smashed it.
You're never going to live that one down.
No.
I know it already. So, welcome back to another edition of Nerd Ricans. I'm Spill It Mo.
I'm told it to him. I told you so, Lou.
As we were at before, we were talking about Hulks. And the fact that there's a red Hulk coming up, it's like,
Yes.
I'm wondering if they're going to start bringing out other Hulks, Because in the comic books, we had a red Hulk,
Yes.
red She-Hulk, right?
Yep.
And then we had Rick Jones as a blue Hulk called A-Bomb.
Which is short for
Abomination. But they said A-Bomb, so it sounded cuter.
Then you got Scar.
Scar, but he was already introduced in Jennifer,
She-Hulk.
the She-Hulk, Attorney for Hire. At the very end, boom, they introduced Scar.
Yes.
So those two are already in as far as live action is concerned. But it's like those stuff is like I said, Red She, then you got A-Bomb, and that's it really, because then that makes all the Hulks.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the moment, all of them.
Yeah.
I think you were telling me something before on the break in regards to Wolverine.
Oh, off camera.
Yeah.
I was telling you how there's a story where it's the future.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's after or during Old Man Hulk.
Mm.
And, I mean, Old Man
Wolverine.
Yes, where Hulk basically rules the planet, and Wolverine is tired or whatever, and he goes, he wants to get rid of these people. That the whole planet is full of Hulks, controlled by Banner Hulk, and in one of the most, to me, if they make this into a reality, it'd be ill. Because toward the end, Hulk's only ultimatum is to eat Wolverine. He eats him, but you know how Wolverine has that healing factor, and he basically heals inside his stomach, and he basically rips up Hulk from the inside out. That's how he destroys Hulk.
Shish kebab, anyone?
Yes.
Little gamma radiated meat.
I think that should have been in the What If.
Sure. Yeah, I can see it being pulled off in the What If.
Yeah.
Now, here's one for you, and I could be wrong about this article that I read, but it seems as far as Avengers Doom, it's going to introduce an evil version of Avengers. And it heads up with two that have already been confirmed. And we know Robert Downey Jr. is confirmed. Chris Evans is confirmed,
For Hydra.
right? And then there's, dare I say this, Lou Ferrigno playing Maestro, Hulk.
You know what? That would be good. Only because he played the Hulk. To me, that is the Hulk.
That is,
My
but
generation.
but in his case, it's going to be a CGI version of the Hulk, but it's going to have his voice. Because remember, he did the voice of the Hulk of the animated series. He was the voice
Mm-hmm.
of not the voice of the actor when he's Bruce Banner, but the voice of the Hulk when he becomes Hulk. So it'd be very interesting. I was like, when I saw Lou Ferrigno, I was like, wow, I can't wait to see how they're going to pull this one off.
It's gonna be good.
It's going to be good.
It's gonna nostalgia-wise.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, again, not 100% sure. I mean, all sorts of reports start coming on the screen. A lot of what ifs. Some of it sometimes is tainted by the AI. People create stuff that we want to see. I mean, I saw one time where they did an AI trailer of the Thundercats, and of course, as I said it before, he is the franchise actor that was laid up as number one to be Lionel, Henry Cavill,
Yeah.
and then the AI version of him dressed as Lionel, and then you had other actors, Panthro, Chitara, Tigra, and was it Wiley E and Wiley Cat, and they had those twins there, and then of course Snarf. I love that cat, but they have all these actors playing these roles, one being the voice of the cat, and I'm saying to myself, damn, it's like, AI is a fickle thing. I'm just waiting.
Side note,
Mhm.
wouldn't it be interesting to see Cavill play He-Man in the Masters of the Universe? He's got the build.
Yes, he does, and he has the sword play to go with it.
Yes.
Him as a blonde, well, we'll see, but
I think it's more realistic than him looking like Goku.
you may have a point there. I could again, he is the franchise actor. I could see that a Masters of the Universe franchise with him heading as He-Man. I could see that.
Yeah.
Again, I would love to see that. I mean, there's so many. Oh God, there's just so many characters.
Skeletor.
Skeletor.
And
Who
yes,
would you pick?
the omnipotent voice has.
We'll have to have a counter.
Yeah, that was God speaking again. Who would it be? Who would you pick, Mo? Who would you pick, Mr. God?
That's a hard one. That's why.
That's a hard one.
But then, I mean, CGI wise,
Yeah.
anybody can pretty much.
Well, with Skeletor, it's again, he has to be like totally off the rails evil. Period. Like in the animated feature. Again, if you have some thoughts, go to our Facebook page and give us a list of who you would like to see either playing He-Man or Skeletor.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like with AI right now, from what I'm seeing, that you can pretty much create any scenario of films and give an idea. To me, that's a perfect way to tease people as far as fans are concerned. Like if they're developing something, then scream out and say, "We want this guy."
What
We
about
want
Tom
that
Hardy?
guy."
What about Tom Hardy?
As
Skeletor.
well, he already played Bane, and that way he was good in Bane
exactly.
as Bane. So I could see him. He's got the ruthlessness for it, and he's got the build too. Because I remember
he might
him.
be a little shorter, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's not gonna really matter that much. I mean, he could put on that muscle weight build for it too, as he did for Bane. But there's so many others. It's like you're trying to think. It's like it's like when I saw an article, true or not, that as far as the MCU is concerned, like the next baddies or villains that are supposed to be coming out in the next two Avengers films, one of them has The Rock playing Apocalypse. Exactly.
Interesting.
Interesting choice. I mean, he's got the build, but the thing is, even though he has the build, but in the comic books, Apocalypse has all these, this suit, kind of a mech suit to go with, So, will his build make a difference in the live action? I guess so. Take that away. It's like another one to mention. which I know is already becoming a fact. Jason Momoa as the Bastich bounty hunter, Lobo. I mean, you don't even have to put him in costume. He already looks like Lobo.
You know that I read somewhere he is the most powerful DC
Yes.
character.
Mm-hmm. He is, and the most ruthless character there is, because he knows that only one of his own kind could kill him. And so what he did is he killed everybody on that planet. He killed all of his kind, so that way nobody can kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So even if, I mean, with his battles with Superman and God knows how many other DC heroes, you know, when you think he's dead, he's just regenerating right back. He regenerates. Who thought? Is there a better healing factor than Wolverine? He regenerates even from a freaking thumbnail. He comes back as Lobo again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but he is the Bastich. Oh man, the main man, the mofo.
Mm-hmm.
I can go on, but every time they introduce that character, like in the show Krypton, they introduced him.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was it was kind of a lighter
it.
version, but there was another actor, live action, who played Lobo, and he demonstrated. It's like, no matter how many times they did stuff to him, they chopped them up into pieces, and he was growing back, and like at first it was just his head, and next thing you know, his torso, and he's using his hands, and then the rest of it came a little while later. But that's Lobo. He just keeps coming and coming. It makes him a good bounty hunter. Like it would be lousy if you could just blow him away and that's it, and you're done. No. He just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming right after
you. It would be good to see him versus Deadpool.
I think that's dead even right there.
Yeah.
I kind of like dead even. It's like, I don't know who's going to get killed first, but those two going at it, yeah. Mostly guns, knives, you name it.
Both have an extraordinary healing ability.
Yes, they do. And an extraordinary amount of weaponry. Guns, knives, hooks.
I just don't know where Deadpool pulls it out from.
No. Oh, no,
Yeah.
I don't think that. No. That was frightening.
Yes.
Very frightening. Sorry, kids.
Acme.
It could turn into that kind of cartoon
Yeah.
at one point. The Acme Cannon. And
Yeah, exactly.
boom, and he gets done. But yeah, these are the things that, like, as fans, when I look at who's going to play what and where and when, I'm like, wow. I mean, the rumor of Alan Richardson playing Batman.
Oh, dear God.
Mm-hmm.
Just when we got used to Ben Affleck, they pulled him out.
They pulled him out and then they replaced it with the glowing Batman. He glows. Go figure. And then Alan Richardson. But when they say Alan Richardson, I'm like, wait a second. Because I've seen all three. I'm ready for season 3 of Reacher, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, physically speaking,
Reacher he could do it.
He could do it because he's got the build for Reacher.
Yeah.
But the ruthlessness to come with it, and of course, like when you look at it, the Batman is in all fact a detective. He does figures things out, and if you look at Reacher, there are scenes that he reads a person from head to toe like that.
Yes.
So he knows stuff. So it's like when it comes to that,
the 3rd season is coming out soon.
oh yeah, I saw the trailer. I was like, what?
Yeah. There's 3 things I look out for in seasons. That's Reacher,
Mm-hmm.
Tulsa King,
Mm-hmm.
and what's the 3rd? I forgot the 3rd one. Damn it.
I got one for you if you don't have it.
What?
Daredevil, Born Again.
Oh my God, that's going to be awesome when it comes out.
Just watching the fact that you've got another character that they're bringing in, Muse, and no spoiler alert, but this I'm going to tell it anyway. If you don't know, Punisher's return.
I just hope they don't water them down. Disney has a habit of watering things down.
True, but I had read where they had to actually do reshoots because of that. Because the Netflix version of it is what everybody enjoyed. And then when they see like him and
Oh, I'm sorry.
Spider-Man No
The
Way
third one
Home,
that I was thinking about was Mayor of Kingstown. Go ahead.
okay,
Yeah.
Mayor of Kingstown, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh God, and he looks good too, even after what's happened to him.
Yes.
Looks really good.
Yes. He made a hell of a return.
recovery. I mean,
Like his healing factor, he must have one for real.
I mean, he must. He really showed a difference in that. But yeah, with Daredevil Born Again, they did reshoots to make sure, I guess, not to water it down. They know it's
It's what made it. Yeah,
it's violence. There's a hello. I mean,
and I
but
hope
if they allow Deadpool, they gotta allow this.
And I hope they keep it where a lot of the scenes were taking place within the 5 boroughs.
I hope so too, because that's what made it more interesting. Because I recognized certain streets that I saw in Hell's Kitchen. I was like, oh, I know that block. Oh, I know that block too.
A lot of it was filmed right here in 161, the courthouses.
Mm-hmm. So those things I like. It. There's recognizable streets that you go, okay, so you know it's in New York, whether it's Hell's Kitchen or beyond Hell's Kitchen, the Bronx or whatever. At least they're keeping within the confines of the fact that it was this city, this is where it all happened.
I'm just dying.
Froggy's back.
And Kingpin.
That, oh my God, Vince D'Onofrio is Kingpin.
He is awesome.
I'm still blown away by him, bro. When I see him as Kingpin, and I keep thinking the night and day, like him when he played the police officer in Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Mm-hmm.
So he's hunting, serial killers or better yet, not special victims. So he's looking for those people that are pedophiles, and I'm like, man. And then it's like a whole 360.
Yeah, it was intent.
Mm-hmm.
Law and Order.
Like
Law and Order Intent, yes.
And this Kingpin, he's got everything is right about him. The bigness, the whole look, the talking is what you expect. Because in comic books, you don't know how a character talks. You're only imagining.
You're imagining it, yeah. It's like when I look at comics now, and I see a re-scene of Spider-Man, and they say facing a Kingpin, I hear D'Onofrio's voice as I read, and then I would hear Tom Holland's voice as I read.
That's what we need. Also, we need a confrontation with Spider-Man and Kingpin.
I would say it's not something that's not around the corner.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. Those two getting it on. If they recreate that scene that he did in prison, in the comic books, and where he just, oh my God, put the beat down on him when he realized this little skinny kid can outpower me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Kingpin is a big, strong guy, big, strong. But when he faced Spider-Man was just Peter Parker, and he lays the snacketh down on him. And I mean, these snacketh down to the point that he put him within an inch of his life.
Yeah.
Just to let him know, say, I can do that. It's like, what? And with that thought, keep that image of that Spider-Man kicking, King's booty. We'll be right back with some more Rican right after these few, I don't know, bills to pay, things like that. We don't pay bills, but what the hell?
We'll
See you in a bit.
Be right back. This is I Told You So, Lou, and that's Spilling Mo.
Spilling Mo, Smashing Mo. You can go on. I'm sure you have.
Pretty soon, throw Louis down the steps.
See, I'm smiling at that one.
Yeah, because you're gonna love that one.
I'm gonna love that
I'm
one.
gonna sound like Goofy going down the hill.
We might have that Joker left. So back to what you were saying with Alan Richmond being Batman. I'm like, like he's got the chops, he's got everything for it, but are they bringing him on board? I'm like, I'm still waiting to find out. I mean, I'd love to see it. He's even said that I'd love to. You say yes, I'm there to do it.
Did you like the last Batman movie? I wasn't a major fan of it.
I like the premise of it. I love how they approached it. Like, for instance, when he's talking in the background, talking about the signal in the sky, he created a whole new outlook for him. Especially when he says, when those see it in the sky, they know it's a warning.
It's a fear tactic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's not that it's a light in the sky. It's a warning, and then you see the criminals, and they start hauling. They start hauling and disappear at some points. So he kind of created the whole idea that Batman is a force to be reckoned with. And you see that sign in the sky, be nowhere near it. Be nowhere near it. So yeah, he did a good job. I'm not going to say he did a terrible job, except the detective work. Like he was smart enough to figure out certain things, and then the last thing was like, oh, come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now. So I get it. This is your beginning years as a detective, and then later in time, you will figure it out faster.
Aren't we tired of seeing that though?
Not enough.
Aren't we tired of seeing origin stories of Batman, of Superman? That's like Superman did good. They didn't tell an origin. They went even further back to the planet where he's from.
Yeah, with Cavill's version of Man of Steel, yes, they went to an origin story. They created a whole new culture.
Yes.
What the symbol means, how the society of Krypton is. I love that. Now, fast forward to now, it's like I didn't see anything that's origin related, but one report said, and came from Gunn, that this is going to be more comic booky, and I'm like, what do you mean comic book? I mean, I like the comic book when I'm reading it and I'm enjoying the pictures. But if you're trying to make this like this should be an animated feature instead of a live action, you're gonna lose me.
Yeah,
you're gonna lose me. I mean, yes, the first trailer, right off the bat, him crashing down like that, I was like, what the hell? And then, but my favorite will always be Crypto. My favorite scene with Crypto coming up and then grabbing his cape and then just back. So,
please,
Gun.
Do not give us an origin story.
No,
we know the origin story. Kids that aren't born yet know the origin.
They know the origin story. Yes.
Don't give us origin stories. Give us origin stories of characters that aren't too popular. You can give us a background on Green Lantern. He's popular, but it would be nice to see.
Let me stop you there with Green Lantern. There's this thing I read where actually Warner Brothers is like trying to warn Gunn, like, don't bring in the Green Lantern just yet. And they even have like the Green Lantern Corps set up for interesting. I would think so too. That's new blood. That's why in if you notice, like in Zack Snyder's first Justice League, no Green Lanterns. And then on the second, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League, the full 4-hour effect, you had a couple of Green Lanterns. You didn't have Hal Jordan, but you did have lanterns that showed up. And they included that. And they were like, no, because of the supposed disaster of the first one with Ryan Reynolds. Now, honestly, I didn't consider it a complete disaster. I mean, it had good intent, but it was like, but the box office numbers didn't support it. So it became a flop. And then there's the talks of a couple of actors. One of them for Hal Jordan. I can't remember his name, but I do remember the body of work. He was in Godzilla, King of the Monsters. He was the one that lost his family because of the battle that Godzilla had with the Muto. Okay? And he didn't think anything of him until the end. So he is slated to be Hal Jordan for Green Lantern. I'm like, And then there's someone else, another name I just can't come to me right now that's being slated as the John Stewart. So Green Lantern Corps for HBO Max, I don't know if it's a series or not, but they're trying to keep that under wraps so they can properly bring it out. I'm like, okay. I mean, I know they're concerned of having a flop with this, Warner Brothers, because you really can't afford flops. Flops don't equal revenue. Flops means the sound of toilet water flushing down as that revenue goes away with it. So yeah, that's another thing that they're worried about, and so they're trying to keep that under wraps and make it as a surprise. Here it is, HBO Max, Green Lantern Corps. No. Is it going to be a winner? I don't know. I mean, they've already told Gunn, don't touch it. So he's not touching
But
that.
he's kind of touching it with the
I know.
appearance of.
I know.
You know what I'm
Guy
saying?
Gardner. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get it, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, this movie is supposed to be about, from the graphic novel that supposedly it comes from, shows Superman in the early years and the villains he takes on. I mean, one of them winds up being Darkseid. So that's what the book was talking about, but I don't see that here. Right? And it's an ensemble cast. It's not a cast of just a couple of people. It's an ensemble cast. Yes, it's centered around James Cornsworth as Superman, but Hal Jordan, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and then of course this version of Ultraman, which is not the alternate, not as the alternate Earth 2 version, but something that LexCorp created. And I'm like, if this comes out to be something like campy and corny and cartoonishy in some way, I'm like,
The other day I was watching. It came on. I watched it. The Superman Returns movie. When I felt for the guy when he got beat up by Lex Luthor's people because he had the kryptonite living on the platform of the meteor.
well, he took the crystal.
Yes.
And he took it, and then he put, what is it? He made sure that when it crashes into the Earth gets combined with the crystal, and then it creates new Krypton.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be new Krypton, and the thing is, it keeps growing and growing and growing. So now Superman lands on it, and he's made weak by it. You don't see him like totally, but then he finds out the hard way when he gets punched by Luthor.
God. And I remember seeing that in the theater, and I was like, I felt it. I was like,
Oh, hell
no.
yeah.
No, Superman, no.
And then he went and straight up gangster shanked him with a piece of kryptonite and broke the piece off his back. I'm like, what? Ooh. But Brandon Routh, he did a good job, but he more or less didn't make it his own in a way. He more or less kind of reflected on Christopher Reeve's version of Superman.
Well, I mean, he kind of resembled Reeves a little bit.
Yes, he did.
He kind of resembled
I would have
Reeves.
loved to have seen him do it his way.
Yeah.
How he would have done it. I'm pretty sure there would have been a different take altogether. But if he added elements of it, he did. But as far as the story was concerned, it was pretty decent. A pretty decent film. I don't know why they didn't give it much more. I mean, it's one of those that's been, as I say, underrated. You're going to get films that don't come out for too long. People watch it, and they say, yeah, maybe. And some of us would say, yeah, that was a great film. I mean, what's his name? Lex Luthor was great.
Yes.
It was great.
I liked at the end when he landed in an island that was basically the S symbol.
Yeah.
It's ironic.
It is ironic. That's where he lands. That's where he's going to stay. And then the other piece was just taken away and thrown away. But the whole aspect of the fact that he had a son.
Yes.
So, again, that was the one time, other than Tyler Hoechlin being Superman and Lois and him raising two boys, that was the one time, the one other actor who actually touched upon being a father.
Mm-hmm.
So beyond being the hero and being Clark Kent, he's also a father. But Tyler Hoechlin, I got to tell you, man, you did great work. I love his version because he's the hero, he's the husband, and he's the father. And he handled that so well, and I love how they wrote those stories, especially in times when the kids were in trouble and he came in. Oh, sometimes he laid the hammer on them, bro. With his words alone, I'm like, wow. Even I got nervous. I was like, don't hit me. Don't hit me. I'm in trouble. Don't hit me. But yeah, and then as a loving husband, in the series when the Lois Lane character wound up, she had breast cancer, and then she had double mastectomy done, and they showed like in one of the sequences, the opening is him being there, picking her up, giving her something to drink, being with her as her chemotherapy happens.
Side.
But a human side you don't see, because in the comic books, I think one time, Superman, decided to walk across the globe. just walk across it, and then they had a report, and then I think he mentioned it, saying, people seem to mistaken something. Yeah, kind of like Forrest Gump, but he made it clear to them, say people mistaken something. It's like Superman is what I can do. Clark Kent is who I am. My morals and the things that are important to me, family, friendships, loyalty, and things of that matter, was what he was raised with. So those are the things that make him who he is. The powers are just what he can do.
Yeah.
That's it. You take away the powers, he's still Clark Kent. But he's also Clark Kent with the powers. And they touched on that too in Superman and Lois. If you haven't seen it, see it. I highly recommend 4 of the best seasons of great storytelling ever. Period. Even the last episode, oh man. The Ender, I'm man enough to say this. I wept. I cried, bro. It made me cry. I was like sitting there just watching. I was like, it was beautifully done. Beautifully done. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better ending of a show than that, but still. Whew, great storytelling. And they followed, the one thing unique about this show was they brought villains in, right? And they kept their uniqueness. But they did it with a nice twist. A nice twist.
One of the things I liked about this series was the humbleness that he portrayed in the
and the nerdiness too, because you can see the nerdiness out of him. Like, wow, he can get nerdy about stuff, and that's what made him so.
The first episode sold me. Oh, the very first episode when he helped that kid, the green car was coming, and he saved it. And the kid goes, "Hey, nice
suit. My mom made it.
My mom made it. That I was like, yes, this is who Superman should be.
Exactly. And they touch a lot about that on the last episode too. But we'll get into that as we now fly away to our commercial breaks and fly back in.
Yes.
Let me not say fly back in because I smashed stuff already. So we'll be right back with more Northern Ricans. Oh, smash!
Welcome back. We are back.
We are back.
I told you so, Lou.
And I didn't smash a damn thing, Mo.
So he says. One of the things that Mo and I recently read is the graphic novel to the JLA versus Khan
versus
Godzilla and Khan.
Oh, it was great. I have to admit, it was different, but I love the segue that they used the wishing stone, and then all of a sudden, Monster Island and the monsters are now part of their Earth, in their universe. Khan and I hate this. I know his eyebrow's gonna go up, but Khan getting bitch slapped by Supergirl.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. But then the scene and the idea of how Godzilla in the MonsterVerse, Godzilla senses things that are not natural in the world.
Yes.
So things that are not part of the world. And so when he come into the Earth where Superman is, he heads straight for Metropolis. Why? Superman is not part of this world, he sensed it.
But that's the one thing I didn't like. In DC, there are a lot of things that aren't from this world.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't go after them.
But the Kryptonian stood out the most. Kryptonian stood out the most, and he had to confront them.
And then when they locked him up underwater.
Oh yeah, but
that could have held him down for a minute. That could have held him there for a while. He wouldn't. There was no escape from that.
No, that's why Soups had to come down and get him out. He needed him, but he better make sure. Said, "Yo, you and me, we got a problem. I will let you go, but we got something going on." Yeah. And at that end, I think he managed to make he made that connection with Zilla to the point where he understood that though you don't belong here, you do belong here. So we're going to get to the part where we now take care of business. And Lex Luthor and his what do you call it? He took Mecha Godzilla and he brought that one to life and try to use it to try and just level the city and take over.
If it wasn't for the rights that each character belongs to different, I would have loved to see an animated version of that book.
Oh man,
That would have been
great.
awesome because the artwork was phenomenal. They showed the covers in the graphic novel and everything. It was amazing. I enjoyed it. I loved the story. Thanks to you, Mo, for recommending it. And it was great. Now you're recommending another one.
Yes, sirree. Fellow fans and Fireflies alike, I have from Boom Comics, Firefly, the Fall Guys. And yes, Captain Mal and crew, well, almost all the crew, are back together in another adventure. I gotta tell you, Boom Comics, they're killing it, bro. I mean, this is from Sam Humphries, Jody Perez, and Francisco Segala. And I gotta say, excellent, excellent, excellent storytelling.
How's the artwork?
Oh, the artwork is phenomenal. If you take a look here, just the basic essence of the artwork in itself, you can see good work being done on this. But the storytelling, I mean, I was like taken aback at first, like, who's that guy in the background? It's like I'm looking at the characters, and I'm like, oh wait. And then as I read the story, it hit me. This takes place after Serenity. Because in Serenity, Walsh had passed away, or Walsh had died, and then you have, your cast of characters from Malcolm Reynolds,
Right.
Zoe Washburn, who, again, husband had passed, but she had a child. And that child is part of them. And then you have Kaylee. Kaylee is back. Kaylee is there taking care of the ship as she always does. Surprising to me was Inara. Because if anyone remembers the show, and even the movie, is that she uses a shuttle so that way she can go to her clients.
Right.
Because she's a companion. So, but then she became part of the crew. And Inara is still on there. And then they had this new character because Jane Cobb, he left. Simon and River, brother and sister, they moved on. And so replacing those two is Leonardo Chang Benitez.
I don't remember too much of the original show, Firefly. I remember watching a few episodes here and there and thinking that it was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't remember watching too much of it.
I've watched all 13
and
episodes.
Yet it's a cult classic. It's become, it's got a huge following for something that only lasted, 2 seasons?
I would say maybe 10 years ago, I went to Icon, which is Long Island's version of Comic-Con out there. Now, at the time, the school that they usually held it with was under renovation, so what they did, like Comic-Con did, is that they hired a couple of hotels so that those who were going to have panels or any special events, they would hold them in those 2 hotels.
Right.
So I went to the main thing, and then I read something that said, Firefly, 30 years later, panels. What? And then they had something in there as a presentation. I said, okay. So went out of the main center, drove over to the hotel, went in, and what it was is that they were reenacting. They didn't have stars, but there was just people talking about the show, how much they loved it, and the different episodes that followed. And there was one in particular, I can't remember the name, but it had to do with them, if I'm not mistaken, Mal, I think, was jealous for the first time against Inara, and he went into a gala, dressed up, and they had this dance that was going on with Mal and Inara and Kaylee, and it was incredible. So as part of the panel, they were showing us how to recreate that dance. And within about 30 minutes later, we were recreating the dance that was done on the show. Okay. But it still has a huge following. I mean, I saw the 30th anniversary reunion, and the whole cast was there. I remember Wash, the actor who played Wash, right? He had talked about he went to a con in London, right? And somebody had brought over a photo for autographing, and he wrote down, okay, I'm a leaf in the wind. which was his last words before he died, because he was trying to land the ship, and signed it. And the lady picked it up. She started to cry. Why would you write this thing? She got hurt because she got sad that he died, and that was the last words before he died. And they said, "Look, we'll take that back. We'll give you a new one. Stop crying. I'm so sorry." But yeah, it lasts 30 years. It still has a cult following.
Yeah.
I've seen other books, but when Boom Comics did this one, I was like, "Ooh!"
Boom Comics, they're fantastic. They take stories and they make them new again. And I believe they're part of Image, if I'm not mistaken. Or
I think there's a subsidiary Image.
They started out with Image.
Mm-hmm. And remember, I had done a review on the first season, Grimm, and that was also from Boom Comics.
Yes.
That was actually very good. So, again, if you get a chance, please, this book, if you're a fan, this would definitely be, it's an entertainment. I still love it. I'm reading it again. I've even marked off where I left off. Even though I read this whole thing, I'm reading it again. It's just that good. The graphics, top notch, but the storytelling is right there. It's like actually watching an episode. It really makes you feel like you're in that episode right then and there. So I highly recommend it. Go watch, pick up your copy from Boom Comics. Oh my God, I can't say enough of it more. And Grimm's another one. If you're into horror, that's another one you should check out as well. I gotta tell you, man, this is a good read. I can't wait to see what else they might have in Boom Comics. I'm actually looking through their library to see what else I can pick out to say, this is another one to check out.
By the way, not to self-promote anything here, but my second issue of Jennifer the She-Wolf will be out soon. Also a little horror in it. Okay, so pay attention to that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm I Told You So Lou.
I'm Smash It Up Mo. And again, thanks for joining us on another edition of Nerdoricans. Until then, live long and prosper.
Long live the Jedi.